There is a place on Earth where humans tried to touch the sky and almost succeeded. A structure so tall, so precise, so unreal that when you stand beneath it your mind struggles to understand what you're looking at. Welcome to the shadow of the impossible, the Burj Khalifa. It rises from the desert like a mirage, steel, glass, and ambition piercing through the clouds above Dubai. But this isn't just a building, it's a story of power, of risk, of vision, and perhaps of something deeper. Because the question is not how it was built, the real question is why. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine standing in the middle of a vast desert, endless sand, burning heat, and silence. Now imagine someone whispering, "Let's build the tallest structure in human history right here." It sounds insane, and yet that's exactly what happened. In the early 2000s, Dubai was already growing fast. Oil had transformed it. Wealth was flowing and skyscrapers were rising, but that wasn't enough. Dubai didn't want to follow the world. It wanted the world to look at it, so they dreamed bigger, higher, unimaginably higher, and that dream became the Burj Khalifa. Construction began in 2004 with thousands of workers, endless hours, and extreme heat. Every day was a battle against nature itself, temperatures that could melt metal, winds that could shake giants, and yet slowly the tower began to rise floor by floor, level by level, like a needle stitching the earth to the sky. But building something this tall isn't just engineering, it's defiance, because at extreme heights everything changes. The air gets thinner, pressure shifts, even gravity begins to feel different, concrete behaves differently, steel expands and contracts, elevators become a challenge of physics, and the wind becomes your greatest enemy. At the top of the Burj Khalifa, the building doesn't just stand still, it sways gently, almost like it's breathing, and that's not a flaw, it's survival. The architects knew this and designed it to move, to dance with the wind instead of resisting it, because sometimes strength is not about standing firm, it's about knowing when to bend. The design itself is inspired by a desert flower, simple, elegant, and natural, but beneath that beauty lies complexity, a hidden system of support, a core that holds everything together, a spine of steel and concrete carrying unimaginable weight, more than 330,000 cubic meters of concrete and tens of thousands of tons of steel, all rising into a single point. A single idea to go higher than anyone ever has, and they did. 828 meters, over half a mile into the sky, a height so extreme that from the top you can watch the sunset twice, once from the ground and once again from above. Think about that. You are standing in one place, but time itself feels different. Reality bends, perspective shifts, and suddenly the world below looks small, tiny, almost insignificant. Cars become dots, people become invisible, the noise disappears, and for a moment you feel something strange, power. Not the kind you can touch, but the kind you can feel, because height changes the way we think. The higher we go, the more we believe we've conquered something. Nature, limits, even ourselves, but have we, or are we just chasing something we can never truly reach? Because no matter how high we build, the sky is still higher, and the Burj Khalifa knows this. It doesn't try to reach the stars, it simply reminds us how far we are willing to go trying. Inside the tower, life feels different, luxury beyond imagination, hotels designed by Giorgio Armani, apartments in the clouds, offices where decisions shape the future. It's not just a building, it's a vertical city, a world stacked on top of itself, but hidden beneath the beauty are stories rarely told. Stories of the workers, thousands of laborers from across the world working long hours, living far from home, building a dream they may never fully experience. Their hands shaped the tower. Their effort lifted it, and yet their stories remain mostly invisible. This is the paradox of greatness. We celebrate the final result, but we rarely see the cost, and the Burj Khalifa stands as both, a symbol of human achievement and a reminder of human sacrifice. At night the tower transforms, lights shimmer across its surface, patterns dance, and it becomes alive, a beacon, a signal to the world to look at us, and the world does. Millions visit every year, cameras rise, necks tilt upward and eyes widen, because no matter how many pictures you've seen, nothing prepares you for standing beneath it. You feel small, not in a bad way, but in a real way. A humbling way, because in that moment you realize something important. This tower is not just about height. It's about perspective. It forces you to look up, to think bigger, to question limits, and maybe to question yourself. What are your limits? How high can you go? What are you building in your own life? Because the Burj Khalifa didn't appear overnight. It started with an idea, a bold one, a risky one, an almost impossible one, and then someone believed in it enough to start, enough to continue, enough to finish. That's the real story, not the steel, not the glass, but the belief. The belief that something impossible could become real. And yet even the tallest building in the world is temporary. One day something taller will rise somewhere else, another country, another vision, another dream, and the Burj Khalifa will no longer be number one. So what happens then? Does it lose its meaning, or does it become something more, a moment in time, a symbol of what humanity once dared to do? Because records are meant to be broken, but courage is timeless, and maybe that's what this tower truly represents. Not dominance, not wealth, but Courage, the courage to dream beyond reason, to build beyond limits, to stand tall even when the world doubts you. As the sun sets behind the skyline of Dubai, the Burj Khalifa glows in silence watching, waiting almost as if it knows something we don't, that this journey, this endless climb is not about reaching the top because there is no top. There's always something higher, something greater, something beyond, and maybe that's the point. So the next time you see the Burj Khalifa, don't just look at its height, look at what it represents, a question, a challenge, a mirror, and ask yourself, what is your Burj Khalifa? What are you building that feels impossible today because somewhere inside you there is an idea waiting, rising, growing just like this tower once did, and who knows, maybe one day the world will look at your creation the same way we look at this one, in awe, in wonder, in disbelief. So don't stop at the ground, don't settle for what's easy, look up, think higher, and start building, because the sky is not the limit. It never was. If this story made you feel something, pause for a moment, think, and then tell me in the comments, what would you build if fear didn't exist? And if you're ready to explore more stories like this, stay with me, because the next journey might take you even higher.